Oh, I got soaked. Full trigger.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the boat gang. Alright, we got the water bobber on the block. Alright, she's literally on the block. This is part 2 of our build series, okay? In the previous parts, we actually installed the rudder, strut combo, the stuffing tube, and we got the motor in the boat, okay? Today we need to actually hook up the steering linkage and install our servo. Figure out which servo we want to use, install our ESC, and kind of figure out what we're going to do for battery placement. Try to prep the boat up for its maiden run. Now this is a hybrid, okay? It's a hybrid like mono hull, like a mono tri hull catamaran hybrid style hull, like a prototype boat, okay? And it's actually available to the public. There's a link in the description for the boat. It's bad to the bone. All right, we got her all, we basically got her ready to go, man. So let's get to it. Let's freaking get to it. All right. So yeah, let's get to it, you guys. First of all, I would just like to say thank you to deadaheadrc for sending this boat out to me. It's boss, you guys. It's actually like a thick layup, but it's thin, like it's lightweight, okay? And I want to try to keep the boat light. That's basically why I put a 29 series motor in the boat over, say, a 36 series motor, okay? Just trying to keep the boat light. Now these 29 series motors right here, like this Rocket, the SSS motor, this Surpass 2958 3300 kV. Now those 29 series motors are just about the equivalent of a 3650 2000 kV motor, okay? Right on par with that motor right there, man. I like these 29 series motors, especially in these like sub 19, 20, 24 inch boats, man. It's like a perfect lightweight motor for these freaking boats. So I'll probably get a few questions about my boat block. That's what I'm gonna call it, my boat block. All right. These are preschooler building blocks that my wife actually found on the side of a freaking road, and I super glued them together. They make a great pit mat, okay? RC car guys can have pit mats for their cars to sit on, nice and plush, soft pit mats. Why can't the boat guys? So I made my own pit mat, the boat bench. Oh, boat bench, that's even better. Oh man. So you guys notice I got some stickers on the boat, okay? That's actually from a mini mono. I got the little mini mono here. I just got this little mini mono. Yeah, it was an eBay find without the hatch. It was a brand new mini mono. I got the motor right there. The remote and everything was with it. I took everything off the boat. I've got everything plugged up. I'm going to finish plugging it. That's my first go around with the putty. And I'm going to pull molds from this boat, you guys, here shortly. Probably order the materials for the mold making and hull pulling process next month, okay? These boats, handmade. They're hand-laid, handmade fiberglass boats. And, you know, seeing this boat's really got me in the mood to, like, make my own hull. So that's what I'm going to do. So, you know, let's get to it here. Servos, okay? A full size, like this is a Pro Boat or Horizon Hobby 605 servo. You know, a full size tall servo would be a little too big. Now a little short servo, full size, would probably be perfect for the boat, but I'm using what I got. A micro servo, I think, would probably work in the boat. It would be lightweight, but you know, this is this hull, it's going to take a little bit of power to turn this boat, because it's got so many like straight lines, okay? It's got like the steps and everything, which that should help the turn. All right, and CG and everything's gonna help the turn. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this, like, you know, servo that's in between. Now I pulled this out of the little mini mono right there. This is a Hobbyco, old Hobbyco servo. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I made a mount for it, okay? And I actually made the mount a little bit I cut the hole out for the servo a little larger. I have an old Traxxas servo, for a 16th Revo that I may replace the servo when it goes out with the Traxxas servo, or just get a new one or whatnot. So I cut it out big enough for the Traxxas servo, but small enough where this thing's not going to wiggle around. I actually tapped a little hole in the mount so I can just screw my screw in there and Loctite it in. Okay, it was easy. I just bent a piece of aluminum and cut it out. All right, I drilled a few holes for my epoxy to settle into, like in a little epoxy dam there, and we're going to mount it right in the boat. Now, I actually got lucky with this servo horn. So when you're hooking up a push-pull steering, okay, we're going to be using 2 steering rods. They've got to be identical to one another on the rudder and on the servo horn. They've got to be the same distance from the center line on both, servo and rudder. Okay, if not, you're going to overwork your servo and potentially prematurely burn your servo up. So you need to keep that in mind if you're hooking up a push-pull steering. So basically what we're going to do is epoxy our servo mount in the boat. Okay, so we can judge how or where we need to drill our 2 through holes. Okay. Alright, got my servo mount in, got the servo dropped in there just to kind of see what it looks like. Okay, so now we need to actually work on the steering linkage, the steering rods. Okay, we're going to be running 2 of them, 1 on each side. Okay, push, pull, push, pull. Alright, so we need to figure out where we need to put the hole at. But first, we need to figure out what we're going to use for our steering rod. Okay, I got a couple of choices in mind. Okay, what I usually use on these like sub 12 to 20 inch boats is this 3/32 brass tube with an 1/16 capillary tube with a music wire in the capillary tube. I don't think I'm going to go this route. For one, it's actually expensive for you guys to source this. You have to get it from several different retailers. So I'm going to go with something a little more obtainable. Okay, these are fiberglass kite rods. Okay, let me get a measure. They're basically 2 millimeters. Okay, you could find these kite rods in any like $1.99 kids kite that you fly. Okay, I've actually got these left over. They're actually pretty long, and you get about 4 of them in a kite. They're a couple bucks. So they're fiberglass, 2 millimeter fiberglass rods. I'm going to use those as my steering rod. I've never done this before, and I was just trying to think of something that you guys could use that's easily obtainable other than this capillary tube. It's like 20 bucks for like 10 of them, and you got to buy the music wire and the 3/32 tube. So with this, really all you need to get is the kite and a corresponding brass tube, which in my case I'm using an 1/8 brass tube. Now, from brand to brand, the kite rods inside could be different. Some of them actually have carbon fiber rods. All right, these are 2.5. I'm not going to use that. The reason I'm going with the kite rod is it's kind of flimsy. All right, it should be perfect. I'm going to use these easy connectors. Okay, now ideally I would like to use this guy right here, this easy connector with the threaded nut on the bottom, but I've only got 2 of them. Okay, and I need it for another build. So what I'm going to use are these little cheap easy connectors. They're $2.99 for like 2 or 3 of them. You get the easy connectors with the little nut, the little screw on top. Now we could put a grub screw in there. I don't think I have a 440 grub screw, so we may have to get some. But and they don't have threads. airplane guys use them. You just kind of push that little tab on there. Once that tab's on there, it's permanent. Okay, so I don't have mine pushed on all the way. I was just showing you guys what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna use that inside and outside. I'm gonna put 2 on the rudder and 2 on the servo. Okay, now the kite rod actually fits in the brass tube like perfect. It's actually just like a cut hair of play. All right, but it fits in there perfect, so it's like waterproof. You could run it just like it is, but I'm gonna actually you know, mount up the brass tube, you know, have it sticking out the transom of the boat just a little bit, maybe like, you know, maybe that far. Okay, and I'm using this nitro fuel line. I'll get a measurement for you on this. Not sure. Basically 1.5 millimeter fuel line to go over this 1/8 brass tube, and it fits over this kite rod perfect, you guys. It's actually going to act somewhat like a bellow. Now, yes, a bellow looks much better, okay, but it's going to do the same thing, okay? And this is all stuff that you can find at your local hobby shop, Walmart, you know. You could source it locally. That's basically why I'm going this route, to show you guys a different way of doing things. Now, I've actually got 2 of these, and you know, I could use these on this boat and it would actually look really cool, but I just want to try something different, you know. I actually like my carbon fiber steering rod on my UL19. I put this 2.5 millimeter carbon fiber steering, you know, for a steering rod on my UL19. I love it. I love it. And I think this is going to actually do the trick, you guys. It's going to keep it watertight. All right. Got a through hole. Okay. And it's easy to source. So let's see if we can get it to work. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to work. It's a cheap steering setup that may help somebody out there, you know. Just try something different. Why not? That's what the hobby's all about, you know, tinkering and you know, messing around with you know, little ideas that you have rolling around in the back of your head, and you know, bringing it to life, trying it out, you know. And that's what I love about the hobby. That's what I love about the hobby. Throwing the whole boat together, it gives you a sense of satisfaction, like you've freaking done something, especially when it all works out and you see this thing cruising around on the water, man. It's yeah, just like this. Okay, I got my holes marked. All right, the same on both sides, so my steering linkage runs parallel to my rudder bracket. I've actually got a steering linkage on the servo on the inside, so I could actually see where it's going to go through the hole. Okay, I'm using those screws for my rudder bracket as a reference point, so I could see where to kind of run my steering linkage. Oh man, either I know what I'm freaking doing or I just got lucky as hell. But I got my holes drilled. I got my rods ran through the boat, got it connected to the easy connectors on the inside here, and it actually is perfect, man. I got both of the rods the same, you know, distance from the rudder bracket. I don't have any bows in the rod, you know. I guess you would see like a bow if you had your hole drilled off, but I got a good shot to both the rudder and the servo, so I think that's gonna freaking work. I'm gonna go ahead and drill out my holes to accommodate this 1/8 brass tube. I'm gonna drill it dead center. You know, if it was off at all, right now is the time to actually, you know, use your drill and or file to kind of compensate the hole. You know, right now is the time to do that, kind of fix the offness. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drill this out so we can epoxy this tube in the hull and get this thing finished up. All right. I got my 1/8 brass tube cut here, and we're just going to kind of slide it in the boat. Okay, I just cut them maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches long tops there, And we want them to be sticking out the boat so we can put our little fuel line over it for the, you know, for the waterproof aspect. So I'm just going to kind of put them in place. All right, I'm going to put my rudder back on real quick, and put my steering rods in the rudder, install the rudder, and epoxy those 1/8 tubes in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put everything on as if we were finishing up the boat. That'll actually hold these tubes in place for you. You know what I'm saying? That way that they're lined up perfect with one another. All right, I got them run on the servo in the boat and on the rudder back here. All right, so I'm going to put my pin in the rudder, and we'll get some epoxy mixed up. Go ahead and epoxy those bad boys in the boat. All right, D-U-N, duh. Got it all hooked up here. Okay, I got my little makeshift bellows on each steering rod. Got my steering rods locked in place. Got the servo in. I got it hooked up to the ESC temporarily. Got a screw in. I need to put a screw there. I need to put my little snaps on the top of my easy connectors. But just for video's sake, because we're about to end it, it's getting long. I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see it move. I got my travel turned down so I don't mess up my rudder, because I'm not ready to snip these off. Normally you would snip them off about right there. Let's cross our fingers, hope it works. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. Nice, it works. Good deal, man. I was worried that these rods would be too stiff, or I might have had one of them off, creating too much like resistance on the servo. Actually moves pretty easy. Look how it's staying centered right there. That's so cool, man. That is so cool. But got it on. It works. It works. Sounds like there's a little resistance on the servo. It's talking to me there. But it actually works good. Works good. I hope this gives you an idea for your boat. You know, something a little different, a little outside the box. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll let you guys go. Hey, if you don't mind, hit the like button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, or if you freaking learned something. Hit the like button, because it does help my videos get recommended on the YouTube platform. So other than that, thanks for watching. Big B with ironcladedout, channel where we take your test, tune everything.